All right, in the Iron Asylum, this is John Hansen. We are at the Powerhouse Gym in downtown Tampa with Ted Voight for a leg workout right before the NPC Southern States. How you doing, Ted?
Doing well, doing good.
All right, now Ted, I used to, you just won the Tampa Bay Classic a couple weeks ago, and you and I used to know each other from Chicago, and I think you moved to Florida about the same time I did.
Right.
And your physique looks remarkably improved from when I used to see you compete in Chicago. Much more leaner and harder. You really look, I thought that was the best ever you looked at that Tampa Bay Classic. Now you're getting ready for the Southern States, and you probably leaned out a little bit, right? Dropped out a few pounds from Tampa Bay.
Looking at the pictures from Tampa and looking at how I look now, I'm better now than I was at Tampa, and so I feel going into this show, I got the right formula. I think coming in lighter as a light heavyweight, that's what's going to do well for me, for my body type.
Now, when you were in Chicago, you were competing at a heavier weight then?
I competed in the beginning at light heavyweight, and after that, I thought I had to be a heavyweight, so I tried to gain as much weight as possible, but that wasn't all muscle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we know that you can't gain. It's hard to gain over 10 pounds of muscle in a year if you've been training for 13 years. You know,
right?
It's a lot of that's water and fat, and you know, you come to that realization when you weigh in and you're a lot lighter than you thought.
Yeah. Now we're watching you do leg extensions to start off your leg workout. Now, seeing as this was probably 10 days out from the NPC Southern States, I imagine you're not going that heavy, right? You're just doing more of a volume type workout?
Yeah, I noticed for me at least, for what works for me is switching off between high volume and high intensity. And even in the off season, what I'll do is I'll do some high intensity training, probably 2 or 3. Yeah, well, as far as off season versus pre-contest, is it?
Yeah. Like, what did you do to build the size in your legs originally?
Well, I think like a lot of my leg size has a lot to do with genetics. Like we talked about that. I was in sports at a young age, wrestling and football, and having to improve my speed. I read a lot of books like things like Walter Payton and how he used to train to try to, and over time my legs, I believe, came in that plus the genetics. So it's a hard work as a young kid. I started lifting weights at 12 years old. Yeah. And I responded pretty quickly. So.
And you were running back, right, when you played football?
Running back, and wrestling was like the big thing for me too. The quads or on the inside of the quads, or be more on the glutes and the hamstrings, or more up on the top of the quad, depending on what I'm going for that day. So what I'm doing for legs one day, the next time I do legs, I'll probably go off of what I did last time to try to keep things changing. So I switch off on the intensity. I'll switch off on different movements. Okay. And
yeah, I noticed when you're doing the leg press here, you got your feet sort of high, and I imagine that's bringing the quads more right in the. I mean, the quads, the glutes and hamstrings more than the quads.
Yeah, I'm like pretty quad dominant, kind of like something that. That's one of the bodybuilding tricks. Like I have a college degree in exercise science from Illinois State, and going through the exercise physiology program and things, they don't tell you the tricks of the trade that help you become a better bodybuilder. You learn about the human body itself and how the human body functions, your metabolism, and how muscles function. But no one really tells you about feet positioning and developing outer quad sweeps versus abductors and things like that.
That's more experience in the gym.
Yeah, definitely. I think experience is, as a bodybuilder, your experience will come before education, I think, which is kind of an odd thing, but it seems like that way.
Now here we see you doing an exercise that they have this glute ham machine out at the Powerhouse in downtown Tampa. And this is one of the first times you've ever used this, right? Coming all the way up to squeeze those glutes and hams.
Yeah, I don't even think I did it right the first time. It definitely is. I felt a good squeeze on this. Anything that's going to hit the hamstrings different. The hamstrings are a lot like your biceps. There's not really a whole lot you could do. Yeah. It works in one function.
One direction, right?
One direction, and so by mixing it up like that, I thought that was a good idea. Especially 10 days out, trying to bring that glute and hamstring tie in for the show.
So you started off with extensions, you did drop sets on those, then you did leg press and you were doing drop sets on those, and now you're supersetting the leg curls with that glute ham machine.
Yeah, it's not really rocket science. I have to skip meals. I'm not subbing things out based on what I think is better. I'm
Doing on that squat machine.
Yeah, at this point, my legs are pretty much fatigued, and it's really, like you said, getting a good stretch, bringing the glutes in again. You know, being this close to the show, hitting these areas of the legs that are more important when you're posing. You know, off season, I'll do more compound movements. I'll go a little heavier, things like that. I'll work on my weak areas. But here at the show, it's just bringing in the best. You know, dialing in everything, dialing it all in for the last minute, you know, to get up on stage there.
Yeah, your skin was really thin. The veins were really coming out throughout the whole workout.
I feel like I said, I feel like I'm going to be better than I was at Tampa, and I'm hoping that that's enough, you know, for me, for the Southern States.
Now, when you did that Tampa Bay Classic, you were like about 202, right? You were a heavyweight, but a very light heavyweight, and now you're going down to light heavyweight.
Yeah, this day, I remember I weighed myself actually right when we were done. I was 205.
Okay.
And today, right now, it's Wednesday, the show's Saturday, I'm 203. And it's funny because on Facebook, I have a lot of people that I talk to, and they're always asking me, what's your weight, you know? Mm-hmm. So I'm going from it's been like 205, 205, 205, and then 204.